Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are going to be discussing about introduction to physiological and pathological chemistry. Under this, we are going to be looking at the definition of biochemistry, breakthrough in biochemistry, relevance of medical biochemistry to other life sciences, and we will conclude with branches of biochemistry. So at the end of this lesson, you are expected to be able to define medical biochemistry, mention one major breakthrough in the field of biochemistry, explain the relevance of biochemistry to nursing, medicine, and other biological sciences, and lastly, you should be able to describe different branches of biochemistry. So as a way of introduction, we'll start by the definition of biochemistry. Biochemistry is the study of chemical processes in living organisms. We can also define it as the application of chemistry to study biological processes in living organisms. Biochemistry is both life science and physical science because it explores the chemistry of living organisms and the molecular basis for changes occurring in living cells. While for medical biochemistry, we can define it as the branch of general biochemistry, but its scope is not as broad as that of general biochemistry. Medical biochemistry can be defined as the study of biochemical processes that occur within the human body in relation with their application in the field of medicine. Millions of complex chemical reactions are going on in the human body at any given time, ranging from the balance of the endocrine system to storage and utilization of fuel molecules such as glucose. By understanding this highly complex reaction, medical biochemists have found better ways to fight infection and diseases at molecular level. Since an engineer cannot repair vehicle if he does not understand how it works, so a nurse must understand how the human body works before she can treat her patient effectively. Much of the biochemistry deals with the structure and function of cellular components such as proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, and nucleic acid, collectively known as biomolecules, meaning molecules of life. The main focus of medical biochemistry is in the understanding of how biological molecules give rise to processes that occur within living cells, which in turn relates greatly to the study of and understanding of the whole organism, which is the human. So let's look at the breakthrough in biochemistry. Our present knowledge of the human body came from a series of experiments and research conducted several years ago. The transfer of genetic information from one generation to the next was not thoroughly understood until the major breakthrough of 1953/1954. One of the major breakthroughs in the biochemistry was the discovery of the accurate model of deoxyribonucleic acid, that is DNA, by James Watson and Francis Crick in 1953. So many people believe that this American biologist James Watson and English physicist Francis Crick discovered DNA in the 1950s. In reality, this is not the case. Rather, it was first identified in the late 1860s by Swiss chemist Friedrich Miescher. Friedrich Miescher first discovered the nucleic acid when he was working with white blood cells. He discovered what he then called nuclein, which it was later changed to nucleic acid and DNA in 1869. So the second person, even before James Watson and Francis Crick work, is Phoebus Levin, which he investigated the structure of DNA. He was the first to discover the three major components of the single nucleoside, which is the phosphate sugar base. He was the first to discover the carbohydrate component of RNA, which is ribose. He was the first to discover the carbohydrate component of DNA, which is the oxyribose, and he was able to correctly identify the way RNA and DNA molecules are put together. Ivan Chagaf is the next scientist, which he is the founder or the scientist that the Chagaf's rule was named after, which states that the total number of purines in a DNA molecule is equal to the total number of pyrimidines that are present in that DNA molecule. So James Watson, which is the scientist in left, and Francis Crick, the scientist in the right photo. They discovered the DNA as a double-stranded helix, and most of the DNA double helices, they discover it to be right-handed, and the DNA helix, double helix, is anti-parallel. The discovery of DNA opened up many possibilities in the realm of medical biochemistry that have been inaccessible until that time. The Human Genome Project, which was which mapped the human genome completely, and it was completed in 2003 as a result of the 13-year Human Genome Project. Since then, medical biochemists have had access to vital genetic information, which has allowed to manipulate within the cell's nucleus. They are also finding ways to isolate harmful traits within human DNA, and found methods of sometimes causing them to completely shut down prior to manifestation. So the Human Genome Project was an international scientific research project within the goal of determining the base pairs that make up human DNA, and of identifying, mapping, and sequencing of all genes of the human genome, both from physical and functional points of view. So relevance of medical biochemistry to the other life sciences. Biochemistry provides foundation for other life sciences such as nursing, pharmacy, zoology, microbiology, and various other fields. Various methods are used by biochemists to isolate, purify, characterize, and study the reactions of cellular components. Biochemists have contributed greatly to the discovery of new drugs to treat chronic diseases such as the cancer, various viral infection, as well as metabolic disorder. So let's quickly look at branches of medical biochemistry. Number one, toxicology, which is the field that studies the adverse effect of toxic or foreign chemical substances on the organism. Environmental and food toxicology also falls under this branch of biochemistry. We also have enzymology, which is the study of enzymes, their functions, deficiency, and consequences of such deficiencies in diseases. Molecular biology and biotechnology, which is the field that evolved directly from the discovery of DNA, and it involves manipulation of DNA to improve drug research and solve health problems. It has also had wide application in other fields of sciences, which include cancer research. Lipid and carbohydrate chemistry, which is the field that involves study of biochemical basis of metabolic disorders such as diabetes, obesity, and cardiovascular diseases. We also have natural product biochemistry, which is a little bit new area in biochemistry. It evolves as a result of interest of scientists across the world in search for new drugs from plants. So it's actually a field that explores natural products, looking for cure of disease therapeutics of different diseases from plants. So quinine, as an example, and artesunate, which are antimalarial drugs, they were isolated from plants. So this is the end of this introductory class. See you next in our subsequent lessons. Thank you for watching.